Hi everyone, so you have recently completed a few different things to do with landscapes within your project. So you may have done a calico landscape that you may have painted, and you may have done a collage for a landscape. So what I would like you to do now is, from one of those images, you need to draw a fairly simple drawing of a landscape that you are then going to create using fabric. So you should be able to see that I've drawn out my landscape and then I'm starting to cut out the top layer only. So what effectively I'm going to do, now you can draw this on calico, but you don't have to. You can just use your paper template for your main ideas effectively. So on the edge of some fabric, you would then start pinning it on. So your landscape is effectively going to be an applique. Now you'd start pinning on your piece of paper, your template, and then you'd cut out your first landscape section. So this would be the very back layer that you would want to see with fabric. From that, you would then start cutting away more and more layers, and then taking the pins out and pinning it onto your piece of fabric, where eventually you would then end up sewing over the top. So the idea is that you layer it up from the back of the image to the front. Now you might want to consider how exactly you place them. You probably want to pin them in place, but remember not to hide any pins behind any layers, because you pin these all together. The idea is that then you can sort of adjust them and then sew over the top of all of them at once. So keep changing your colours, think about what's going to contrast with those, and really consider what scissors you are cutting with as well. Remember, you need to use fabric scissors for fabric and paper scissors for paper. Now the idea of this is that you're going to start developing your skills, and you're really going to consider exactly how to complete this landscape collage. So using applique, this is part of our art textiles that we're looking at, and we're looking for a really strong, really effective piece of work. Again, try not to waste material, so think very carefully about what section of the piece of fabric you're cutting so that you don't waste too much fabric. So we're going to layer them up and pin them on to the best of our ability. Really consider the sort of shapes, the textures that your landscape promotes and what you want it to look like. You might end up cutting out a few pieces and then it gets a bit too thick, in which case just move some of the pieces down so that they end up looking effective, but you're still able to sew through them. Try and really consider any detailed pieces as well. We can add bits of detail of hand sewing and machine sewing on later, but for now we are just sort of layering our pieces of fabric over the top.